When we moved to London about 3 years ago, we were so overwhelmed with how expensive everything was. The rent, the groceries, the transport. I mean, everything was so expensive, but the salaries were just about decent.
But when we realized we had saved up £100,000, we were genuinely surprised. And just to be clear, it's our savings and investments, not just cash sitting in our banks. It wasn't easy. We made mistakes and learned along the way. And eventually, we found a simple system that worked for both of us.
And in this video, we're sharing exactly that system. All the apps that we used, our mindset, how we tracked our money, and small habits that make savings in a high-cost city more manageable. And we didn't live frugally. We traveled a lot, we ate out a lot, we really had the time of our lives, we really treated ourselves. But we built a system to make sure that we are also saving and investing along the way. That's the system we are about to show you. Quick context so you know where we are coming from. I'm Vish and I'm a senior program manager with Amazon in London.
I'm Rohan and I work as a senior account manager in an advertising company here in London.
Now, step one, and this comes even before you can think about investing, and this is building your emergency fund. It's your safety net for all unforeseen circumstances. For example, if you lose your job, there's a medical emergency, or there's just unforeseen expenses, right? And in a city like London, that can always happen. So in order to build that, you need to track your monthly expenses. You need to know exactly how much goes out from your bank every month. Now, we did not do any of those Excel budget calculators. We simplified it so much. We used an app called Snoop. Again, this is not sponsored at all. I really genuinely found this app to be so useful. It basically connects to all of your bank accounts, and this is just one stop for all of your spends across all of your banks. And the app basically shows you where you have been spending, so you're able to categorize based on your rent or groceries or utility bills or entertainment, travel, etc.
So let's talk about how much of an emergency fund should you have. We looked at our expenses and our monthly expense was around £3,000 per month. So we took that as an average, and forecasting that for 6 months, we came to an amount of £18,000. Now the idea here is to keep that amount liquid. So we keep it in our savings account. Although it took us about 8 months to build that amount, but once we had it, we were a lot more stress-free.
And here's a tip, especially if you work in a corporate job. Use any salary bump or new joiner bonus to fill in that emergency fund, because that's the money you anyway do not need in your day-to-day expenses. And therefore, it does not feel like a sacrifice, and it gets you to your safety net way quicker. Okay, now let's talk about how to start saving better. Because saving is fueling your emergency funds, your short-term goals, the vacation that you want to take in the near future, as well as your investing.
Now this is where we got our first reality check. When we looked up on that app Snoop, we were spending about £300 per month on takeaways alone. We tried to bring it down to £100 by cooking more at home. And that change alone freed up £2,400 for the entire year that went into our savings fund.
And here's something that nobody talks about: lifestyle inflation. Now, lifestyle inflation is when your income goes up, but your expenses quietly follow. And this is the reason why, even though people earn so much, they're still living paycheck to paycheck.
We decided early on that we wouldn't fall for that. Every raise we got, we increased our lifestyle a tiny bit and invested the rest of the amount.
So for example, when I got my joining bonus with my first job right after the MBA, instead of treating myself, I actually decided to save and invest all of it. Similarly, when I needed a car for commute, and this was something that I could not avoid at all, I decided to go for a second-hand car, which costed me only 1/4 of the price of the original car.
And we feel that's how you build wealth. Not by earning more and spending more, but by keeping your lifestyle steady as your income grows.
And wait, here's the tough talk. We really believe that savings does not start with fancy spreadsheets and beautiful apps. It starts with the right mindset.
For us, it was about being intentional. We don't go on and buy things because they look fancy on Instagram or because it sounds success.
We keep things simple. We do not buy that designer bag or luxury items just because they're trendy. Rule of thumb, if we can't comfortably afford it, we are not buying it. And if we do buy something, It should be amazing quality and should last for long.
Minimalism doesn't mean depriving yourself. It means buying something because you need it, not because you want to show others that you have it.
And that mindset alone has made us save thousands without thinking that we are sacrificing anything. And it has actually made us quite smart shoppers. For example, we are okay to pay a 20% premium for a good quality bed sheet over one that, would not last even 6 months. Or for example, we would rather pay a premium for high quality clothes rather than buying fast fashion every month. Okay, the next one is a bit controversial, but credit cards actually helped us save money. Now, if you are not able to manage credit cards well, we would highly encourage you skipping this section, moving on to the next one. But for others, stay with us. So for our expenses in the UK, we use Amex. And we've been able to collect a lot of points over the years, and we've also been able to use those points to get good deals on flights.
And when American Express is not working, we use Yonder, which is a MasterCard and accepted globally without any transaction or exchange fees. We recently used Yonder in Vietnam as well, and it's super convenient to use. Again, not sponsored, but Yonder is a great app and you can get rewards for your next dining experience or spa experience. So we will leave our referral link in the description below.
Okay, so now you've started saving, you've downloaded the right apps, and you've built the right mindset. But how do you make sure that you stay disciplined with it? And this is where you automate. Honestly, automating changed the entire game for us. We keep separate accounts for everything. So as soon as we get our salaries in a main account, automatically, before even we see the money gets transferred to our savings account, to our investment platform, and to our joint accounts.
And this part is important. We also auto debit all of our credit card payments, so there is no chance of missing any payments or paying that interest amount on your credit card balance. It also removes decision fatigue. You don't have to transfer money from here and there every now and then. You build a system and that system works for you every month. So once our saving system was logged in, the emergency fund, the tracking, lifestyle control, mindset, and automation, something shifted. We finally felt more stable. Saving alone won't build the long-term wealth. We also need to invest on a regular basis.
And quick thing before we move on. We've turned everything that we've talked about so far in a quick cheat sheet. It's the exact system we used for our first 100k savings. The apps, the mindset, the lifestyle shift, all habits in one place. It's completely free to download and the link is in the description below. Okay, now let's talk about investing, which in my opinion, it's the most difficult part because there's not a lot of information out there. The risks are super high. There's usually higher barriers to entry. So our objective was to make things as simple for us as possible. So rule number 1, we do not invest in individual stocks. Basically, I tried that, a couple of years ago when a friend recommended to me a tech stock. I invested in it and it was awful. I kept checking the price every day, got anxious, and ultimately lost the money. So I would not recommend it.
Unless you have the time to read the financial statements, take those strategic decisions, or maybe do that fundamental or technical analysis, maybe stock picking is for you. But for us, with our 9-to-5 jobs, it wasn't the easiest thing to do. And that's why we prefer ETFs, or exchange traded funds, which is basically a basket of all the high performing stocks or commodities or debt instruments, whichever you'd prefer to buy.
Our main one is the S&P 500, which is basically the top 500 companies in the US like Apple, Amazon, Google, etc. And they're all in one fund.
And the real reason we buy ETFs is because of compounding. It sounds boring, but it's honestly the closest thing to magic in finance. Compounding is when your money makes money and that money also makes money. So over time, it becomes exponential.
So here's an example. So if you were to invest £100 every month for the next 10 years and it grows at 10% every year, which is basically the average of what the S&P 500 has performed, you don't end up with £12,000. You actually end up with over £20,000. How incredible is that? And the longer you stay invested, the faster that curve accelerates. That's why consistency beats timing the market every time.
And things get even better. If you're in the UK, use your ISA to invest in the ETFs. And it's genuinely a cheat code. ISA stands for Individual Savings Account. And every year you can save up to £20,000, which is absolutely tax free.
We try to max out ISA every year through our trading 212 account, and so should you. What's better, you can even automate it. A percentage of a salary automatically gets invested as soon as it hits the account. Set it and forget it. And yes, we genuinely love using Trading 212. That's the app which basically offers stocks, ISAs, ETFs. You can make all of these pies for your goals. It's really customer friendly. And well, we are not sponsored, hopefully one day, but until then we do have a referral link that you can use in the description below. Okay, everything sounds amazing, but let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is how much should you actually invest? Now there's already a lot of ratios. I think the most popular one is the 50-30-20 rule, where 50 is for your rent, 30 is for your wants, and 20 is for saving and investing. But we really believe that there's no particular guardrail or number that should determine how much should you save and invest. So if you're just starting, maybe 5 to 10% of your pay is actually pretty decent. And as life gets more stable, maybe you can gradually increase that 5 to 10% to your next 15 or 20%. That's actually a sweet spot for a lot of people.
In our case, there have been months where we only invested 5%. And there have been months where we invested 40% of our income as well. Your percentage will change depending on your situation, your rent, your needs, your wants, some unwanted expense that comes up. And that's totally normal. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is to be consistent with your investments. So in a nutshell, 5% is better than nothing, and 10% is better than 5%.
And quick note, we are not financial advisors. Please do your own research and choose what fits your risk level. Investing can be as complicated as you want it to be. And that's exactly why a lot of people do not get into investing. Options, charts, stock picking, it's already so overwhelming. So we decided to keep it simple. Diversification, automated, consistent and long term. No guessing which stock's gonna do better. And that's exactly what has made the investing game so sustainable for us.
And lastly, we want to share our top 3 mistakes that we've made along the journey so that you don't make those mistakes. First mistake, we did not use our ISA properly in the first year. In fact, we did not even understand how ISA worked or how powerful it was. Imagine having £20,000 in investments for which you don't need to pay any capital gains tax. It sounds like a cheat code to me.
Another biggest mistake was not losing a lot of money, but not investing earlier. In our early 20s, we kept putting it off because, we did not fully understand it. We did not understand the financial concepts, or we were very risk averse. And now that we've turned 30, we actually see how much those lost years of compounding could have grown.
The lesson here is to start early with as much as you can. Don't delay it, because the power of compounding is going to pay you huge benefits.
And last but not the least, not tracking our spending sooner. I mean, for the first 6 months, we were just guessing how much we were spending on everything, right? But the game completely changed when we used Snoop, or you could basically use any other budget tracking app, or you can literally take your bank statement and see where exactly you are spending. And that completely changed the game for us. Saving £100,000 when we moved here did not seem realistic, but we did it with the right systems that we put in place.
And we are not special. We did not have huge salaries to start off with. We just built out a system or a framework which we stayed consistent with.
Could you do it faster? Maybe. Could you do it with a lower salary? Definitely. Everyone's situation is different, but principles stay the same. Emergency fund. Track your spending.
Control your lifestyle and invest regularly.
Automate everything and keep it simple, silly. If this helped you, hit subscribe. We're sharing a real money journey as expats in London, the wins and the mistakes.
And gentle reminder, the cheat sheet is in the description below, so feel free to go ahead and download it.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.